Moral Right to Healthcare by Cassandra Parker. For Healthcare 322, Healthcare Ethics and Medicine Law, Instructor Jeff Kingsbury. Definition of moral right to healthcare. Moral right to healthcare is the idea that everyone is entitled to the opportunity of good health and well-being, regardless of the individual's ability to pay. How can providers ensure a patient's moral rights are being upheld? Code of ethics, resource allocation, and cultural competence are three key factors to consider when evaluating a patient's moral rights. Code of ethics. Healthcare professionals' primary commitment is to the health, safety, and well-being of its patients. Ethics are not optional in medicine. Providers will be continually held to these standards. Providers should be committed to practicing with honesty, integrity, accountability, respecting all laws, and refusing to participate in or conceal any unethical, false, fraudulent, or deceptive activity. The Patient's Bill of Rights establishes care standards for the patients and their relationships with their providers. Resource allocation. Distribution of resources among those in need of services is the definition of resource allocation. Determining how to dispense staff, resources, equipment, and supplies effectively while providing quality care is what makes resource allocation There is not a universal response to allocating resources. Providing quality care within strict financial guidelines is not an easy feat. In order for a facility to operate at its best potential, it's required all team members refrain from wasteful practices and that they follow protocols as expected. Cultural competency. Having the capacity to function effectively as an individual within the context of cultural beliefs, behaviors, and needs presented by consumers in their communities. Providers must engage in practices that promote cultural competence. There are three principles of cultural competence. Acknowledgement of the importance and prevalence of culture in people's lives, respect for cultural differences, and finally, minimizing the negative consequences that arise from cultural differences. It is the duty of providers to service patients both ethically and morally. Cultural awareness and education on diversity will ensure cultural competence within healthcare practices.